win. I think we all need to win. If you want to be seen as a good player in this league, if you lose, it's the general consensus is they must all be bad players if they're losing. So if you win, we need to get better receivers, better weapons for him to be better. So it's like I said, it's on me and him and all the rest of the guys we have to get this team all going in the right direction.
I already said it once. I already said I love when the media is in the building. I love it. We get all of the news, all of the updates, everything. The timeline was flooded this morning. OTA 5, let's get into this recap. But before we do that, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Got a lot of news today. A bunch of notes, and we can get right into this. But again, OTA 5, big day. Let's get down to some of these notes. So first off, we're going to start it off with this. There was a roster move. The New York Giants waived Brightwell, and they look like they signed a special teamer, defensive back Elijah Riley from former Pittsburgh Steelers. So that's right off the bat. Another update. Gunnar Olszewski limped off the field. That was another update here. I'm just going through my quick updates. Steve Smith was in the building. They had a bunch of clips of him working out, working with Jalen Hyde and neighbors and stuff. So he was hanging out with the wide receivers today. Fantastic. Listen, he was here last summer, doing this thing last summer. He's here again. There's neighbors, there's Hyde, there's Wan'Dale Robinson, there's Darius Slayton, there's Hodgins, there's other guys that are some veterans here, but there's a lot of young guys mixed with some not seasoned veterans, but some guys that got some years too. Steve Smith is already out there. He's going. There's a clip. I'll put it up. They show him working with Hyatt. The neighbors are staring from the side, or watching from the side. Getting all this information, all this good work. From a guy that is one of the best to do it in the NFL. So yeah, I mentioned Gunnar Olszewski limped off the field. So the news with the Darius Slayton thing. So obviously there was a holdout for Darius Slayton. In the comments section a few videos ago, somebody was saying, how do you know it was a holdout? It was clear. The news was reported, and we found out today, what exactly got Darius Slayton to come back. Come back to camp. So they did increase his incentives. It looks like they added just about $650,000. I think is what they said here. So his incentives went from 1.5 million to 2.1 million. So they added some money to that deal, and Slayton showed up. So yes, he was holding out, and yes, they did budge a little bit, but again, no guaranteed money change, just some incentives. I believe he has to hit I think it's 70 catches and 1,000 yards, something like that. But we'll see if he actually hits that. Another thing we learned today, we got a couple of interviews. Brasillo finally got in front of the microphone and got a chance to answer some questions. Brian Dable at the podium. I'm just going to go down this list. So it says Dable said that he has not decided whether or not he is going to be calling plays. He's calling the plays. He's going to save that decision to the end of training camp. Sorry, Kafka. You will not be calling the plays. So last week's OTAs, he was in the headset talking to the quarterbacks, and he said that today he will be doing the same. So I put out the video talking about Dable calling the plays with the question mark. I think we can go ahead and erase that question mark. Right now, I'm about 99.99% sure that Dable is going to be calling the plays, at some point this season, if not at the start of the season. All right, he was also happy to have Locke again. So they're still holding Daniel Jones out of the 11-on-11s. Drew Lock is getting valuable reps in 11-on-11, and he's taking. Looks like they're happy to have him there. He said he's coming along well. He's learning this offense, and then Locke also said he's excited about this offense, but also knows his role when Daniel Jones is fully healthy. He knows he's the backup to Daniel Jones. Dable also said that DeVito is having a good camp. DeVito is having a good camp. We've seen it in past clips from the other OTAs. I haven't seen the highlights from today's OTAs. There were a couple of clips up that they put on X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it. But, as far as we know, Locke, up and down the first couple of OTAs, but he's coming along. DeVito is showing some growth and having a strong OTA so far. And Daniel Jones is way ahead of schedule right now as far as his rehab. He's in 7-on-7s right now. He wants to do 11-on-11, but the medical staff has a plan for him, so they're still keeping him out of the 11-on-11s. But we'll see what happens with that. Speaking on 11-on-11s, Evan Neal is in the team activities and stuff like that, but whenever they get into the 11-on-11, he has not been in for the 11-on-11. Today was the first day Andrew Thomas was involved in 11-on-11, and I believe they said they had Joshua Zudu at right tackle covering for Evan Neal in the 11-on-11. So they've been moving the Zudu around, guard to tackle to guard. Same thing with Illuminor right now. He's at the left guard. I'll talk about that a little bit later about what went into, the idea of putting him at left guard. But yeah, so the Andrew Thomas, first time in 11-on-11 was today. Don't know how he did, but I'm assuming he's doing good. They did say they did not hold him out of 11-on-11 due to injury. It's just about a maintenance thing with Andrew Thomas. Okay, let's see what other notes I have. Okay, yeah, so getting back to Brasillo and this Illuminor thing. So Brasillo on Illuminor said, at the moment, he's starting at guard, but also works at tackle. So obviously Brasillo's familiar. He's familiar with Jermaine Illuminor. He coached him, just last year. And again, left guard right now for Illuminor. For me personally, I don't agree with it. The idea that's been floating around is that they want to keep their best guard next to their weakest tackle. So right now they have Runyon, who they believe is the stronger guard, to help with the weakness of Evan Neal. I don't agree with that. There was a discussion made a couple days ago in the spaces, and we're like, well, what about Andrew Thomas? Like, Andrew Thomas is good, yes, all pro level, but it's not fair for him to have the weaker link. And at this point in time, I'm not saying that Illuminor is weak at left guard. I'm just saying in past, what about him? He shouldn't have to worry about what's going on inside either. So if you're giving all this attention or giving all this help to Evan Neal, well, what about, in my opinion, what about Andrew Thomas? And again, when you put Illuminor at left guard, let's say that Evan Neal can't stay healthy. You have to move Illuminor back to right tackle. Now you're looking at two spots that need to have a replacement. Of course, you could just move Runyon into left guard, but then now you're talking about musical chairs, and I'm not here for any of that musical chairs. What else is going on? So big quote from Brasillo. He said he's used to a rotation, before, moving linemen around, but said that it can hurt a player's confidence with all that moving around. And for me, I take that as he has to be talking about Evan Neal. Like the big news or the big storyline about Evan Neal is possibly if he doesn't work at right tackle to kick him inside the guard. And he's to me, Brasillo's saying, if we're moving Evan Neal around now, it might hurt his confidence, at the right tackle spot. And for me, I'm really not. I really don't care about his feelings. He has to play. He gets paid to play. He was drafted at a high position to be the right tackle. So if he doesn't make it, that's on him. If he's not good at the position, it's on him and not anybody else. So if moving him inside and putting Illuminor at right tackle is better for the team, I'm all for that. I'm all about the betterment of the team, not just players' emotions. But again, I'm just a guy on YouTube talking to you guys. So to me also, what that means with Illuminor saying that he's still good at tackle, the door's wide open there. If Evan Neal does not make it as the right tackle, I think the leash is short, and I think they have no issues with putting Illuminor right back out there at right tackle. That's something he's familiar with. So if they're talking about going into possibly the start of the season with him at left guard, he has enough reps on the outside that he can just get moved out there. He probably doesn't need those reps right now. What am I saying? What am I talking about? All these guys need the reps, but I'm just saying he's so familiar with being on the right side that if something like that did happen, I think he can easily move back out to the right side. Meanwhile, he's learning everything on the left side right now. His stance is changing, all this other stuff. I just don't agree with it. But that's it. But they had some clips going out. I saw some 7-on-7 with Daniel Jones. I pointed out a couple of things. I'll put the clip up with that as well. It's about a 15-second clip. And you're seeing Daniel Jones 7-on-7, no pressure, patting the ball a little bit. And, he escapes to the left and takes a check down. And that's one of the main things people are having problems with when it comes to Daniel Jones. And I'm not trying to just, be hard on Daniel Jones, pause. Just saying you can't look at the video and tell me anything different. One thing I did also point out in that video is that you see this man-to-man coverage. You see that the inside linebacker rookie Morsal is covering the running back, and that seems to be Singletary in this play, and he motioned out wide, and so we have a man-to-man coverage, running back on a linebacker right down the sideline, and you look for those matchups all the time. And if you look at the video, you can see that even though I think that Morsal is running stride for stride with Singletary, you still got to give your running back just a chance on that one and let it go and see what happens. And again, this is practice. This is practice, and this is where you test your limits and see what you can and you can't do. See what you can get away with and what you can't get away with. And we should not be doing a lot of check downs in practice, especially on 7-on-7, especially when you're holding the ball for 6 seconds. But that's going to be it for that. I'm gonna leave it alone at that. Again, just some of the observation that they're putting up. There was a nice clip too, also where Drew Lock was able to hit Neighbors on a nice play. Also, you can see a little bit, and this is me being nitpicky. Kind of stared him down. He made the play on Tay Banks. Not sure if that was man-to-man coverage or zone, but we'll see what happens with that too. But I appreciate Malik Neighbors finding a soft spot in the zone, if it is zone defense, and then making that play down the field. So you can see like the explosiveness of what Malik Neighbors can give you, especially this year. Just get the ball to him and let him do his work. Kind of like you want to say, I don't want to put the pressure of the Odell Beckham thing on that. But just saying, you can see the talent that's there after the catch with Malik Neighbors. And the better he is, the better the rest of the wide receivers are going to be, because once he can get that type of attention, sky's the limit for guys like Hyatt, Wandell, Slayton, Hodgins, all that stuff that's underneath the tight ends, all that stuff that's underneath. I believe, just like I believed it last year with Darren Waller being able to get attention and open things up for other people, I think Malik Neighbors being a wide receiver gives you that and even more than what Waller would have been able to give you if he would have stayed healthy, and if Jones would have stayed healthy, and the line would have stayed healthy and stuff like that. But that's just a quick wrap up. I'm gonna end it with that. Yeah, man. Whenever the media is there, shout out to all the beat writers, Pat Leonard, Duggan, Dunleavy, P. Dot, all those guys, Art, Patty Trainer. Shout out to everybody that was there giving us all this information. Yeah, it was too many guys to name, but you guys know, man. You guys put all the information out there on Twitter for a guy like me to read, while I'm at work reading and doing all this stuff, getting caught up on the New York Giants. And also it helps me share that information with you guys, get it all in one spot. Glad you guys are tuning into the channel. But with that being said, I'm gonna end the video right here. I want to thank everybody for vibing with me. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And from one Giants fan to another, this is Big Dash Knows, Big Blue Nation. Let's go.